Hello again, Internet, and welcome back to another episode of Wine the Truck. This is 2013. I am your navigator, Alex Martinez, wearing my lovely Every Day is Great at Your Juness shirt. And I am here, to just kind of make another episode, right? Seems like it's been a while. Force order of business, as usual. Sorry, I've kind of been absent on this channel. I've been, a little busy with holidays and my job and all that jazz. But I'm back. It is a new year. Time to make some new beginnings. But first and foremost, I kind of want to go back a little bit because it is only the 2nd of January. Well, as of this recording anyway. And I think it's time for me to maybe do a little bit of look back at 2012, huh, guys? So I'm gonna be listing down for you my top 11 games of 2013. Now, is this a comprehensive list of the best games ever made in 2013? Yes, in my honest opinion. I'm not gonna be that kind of guy that is like, oh, these are the games that I had the most fun with, and blah blah blah. No, these are for me my best games of 2013. These are the games that not only did I have the most fun with, but I feel that are, comprehensively for me best games of the year. Now, a couple of little prerequisites when it comes to this top 11 list. I am not including any remakes, any ports, rehashes of any games that have been made within the last year. I don't feel like that's fair to the list, and just kind of, since going into that, I do have to make 3 honorable mentions this year. First and foremost being BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend. It's basically just a rehash. It's a rehash of Continuum Shift and Continuum Shift 2 with the added characters already on the disc or the cart if you got it for the Vita like I did. And the added story elements, it didn't really add enough to the game. It just tweaked some of the mechanics a little bit, in terms of the combos and all that jazz and balancing. So it doesn't really warrant a full release, and I don't consider it to be a new game. It's just an expansion. It's something that could have been done in DLC. The second game is the Ratchet & Clank HD Collection for the PS3. Now, it's kind of obvious why I can't include this game into my list. Pretty obviously, it's a compilation disc of 3 Ratchet & Clank games that came out, in 2002, 2004, and 2002, 2003, and 2004, respectively. And I don't feel like they changed enough to warrant a new game. It's an HD collection, but it is something that I believe every PlayStation 3 owner should have in their collection. Excellent, really excellent. Or a set of games, should I say? That disc kept me busy for many, many hours. All right. And the third on my list, and I do have to say this is the saddest addition I have to make to my honorable mentions list, is Persona 4 The Golden, or Golden for us folks living in the US. Now, Persona 4 Golden, it's, yes, it almost feels like a new game. Yes, they re-up the graphics a tiny bit, but it's just not enough. Okay, it is the same game, the same mechanics overall. Anyways, they added, bikes. They added, the new shuffle time system, which I feel is excellent. The new, the two new social links, the Jester and the Aeon. If it wasn't for the fact that this was a port, essentially, I do think that this would be my game of the year 2012. But it is a port, and I can't bring it to myself to rehash a game from 2008 to be my game of the year 2012. 2012. It just isn't there. So moving on to the countdown. The countdown itself, like I said, it's going to be a top 11 list. Why top 11? Because I fucking said so shut up. But it is a top 11 list, and so here we go. All right. Now, number 11. It's going to be Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Now, this came out for the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Vita a little later on in October of this year. Now, Street Fighter Cross Tekken was essentially a game I wanted almost no part in. I saw, when the game first came out, I initially thought, yeah, it's cool, but I don't play Tekken, so I'm not going to really, get into the characters that much, or at least half the characters. And then the game came out, and half the characters were locked behind on this DLC, and the character I play the most, which is Sakura, was locked behind DLC, and it's like, I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy this game, it's totally DLC based, I guess I'm just glossing this one over. Fast forward to September of this year, where I got my Street Fighter 25th Anniversary Collection. Street Fighter Cross Tekken just happened to be on there with everything unlocked already. The DLC was already included in the box. So I started playing, and I was surprised by what I found. I mean, the system itself is, the mechanics and the fighting system for the game is just excellent. It's really good. I mean, I can find a couple faults in it. There's a lot of balancing issues that just keep it from really being a standout title. But as a game itself, I like it. It's surprising. I didn't think I was gonna be having as much fun with it as I have. And as a fighting game, it's something one I think most people should try out. Number 10 is gonna be Tales of Graces F. Now, Tales of Graces F was a game that I was waiting for about a year and a half to come out in the US. It had already been in Japan for a good while on the Wii, and it got released on the PS3 as Tales of Graces F, and it took so long to get localized in the US that it made me pull out my hair. And was the wait worth it? Kind of, sort of, but not really. It's that thing. I mean, the game is so excellent. It breathes new life, to me, anyways, into a JRPG in terms of mechanics. I love the super fast fighting. I've always loved Tales games for their fighting, and I always love them for their character designs. And the character designs in here are awesome, especially like Pascal's and Sharia, and even Hubert. I love how he has two swords and basically, two guns. It's fucking awesome. Asbel's really cool too. I love the character designs in this game. It's so nice. The gameplay itself is really cool. The graphics are very colorful, very lush. The gameplay itself, it's great. The story is just what kind of kills it for me. It's kind of a lackluster story, especially for a Tales game. I was expecting something along the lines of Tales of Vesperia, which to-date Tales of Vesperia is my favorite Tales game to come out. I kind of got something more along the lines of, Tales of Legendia, which, even though it's a good game, and I like it, it's just the story wasn't the strongest thing. Now, number 9. My number 9 is going to have to be Luminous Electronic Symphony for the Vita. Now, this is a launch title for the system. This game came out way back in February. It was actually one of the first titles I got for the system. I don't really get into puzzle games that much, and Luminous, I had played a couple of them before, 1, 2 on the PSP. I played Supernova, right? Yeah, Supernova for the PS3, and even though they were fun games, I never really got into them. I mean, they were fun for a lark, but beyond that, they were just kind of okay. Music was fun, the designs were cool, but once Luminous Electronic Symphony came out, it felt like a whole new game to me. The game itself, the graphics show off what that Vita's screen can really do in terms of colors. I mean, the puzzles are fast, quick paced. I mean, the music is just fantastic. It's a fully licensed soundtrack. It's all real songs that you can find anywhere. All, you know what I mean? Like actual songs from actual artists. And it's just the entire game as a whole. It's just excellent. I have no other words for it other than it's beyond what I thought a puzzle game can deliver, and it's definitely something that every Vita owner should have in their collection immediately. Now, number 8. Alright? Number 8's gonna have to go out to, believe it or not, Pokemon Conquest. Now, this is a game that I thought was gonna flop immediately in terms of sales. And I didn't think the concept was gonna go over too great either. But I stuck in it for the fact that it's Pokemon and Samurai Warriors put together, which I've always been a bit of a Samurai Warriors fan, a little bit. The game itself was surprisingly deep for a Pokemon game, aimed for people of all ages. Even though it's a Pokemon game, it is a turn-based strategy game, and I made an episode, I think it was my last episode even, where I talked about how much I love turn-based strategy games, and I love them a lot. But this was a surprising game. There was a depth to it. The link system was just amazing. It was great. It was a very smart way to have different Pokemon on your team, and to really show off, how you can have different generals, and different warlords, and play out a battle, and each one is connected to a Pokemon, and how the character looks changes depending on the Pokemon that you have, and what level they're at, and what link status you have with them. There's a surprising amount of depth for a strategy game aimed towards such small kids. But that being said, it is an excellent strategy game. There's a lot of depth. It's the kind of strategy game where it's easy to learn and hard to master. So it's really good for beginners who have never played a turn-based strategy game before. Really great for, veterans like me who like to, get a challenge. It's an all-around great game. And the only two major gripes I have about it is, one, it's not out for the 3DS, and I kind of find that to be, stupid. 3DS has already been out for a year, and the game comes out on the DS. I find it really dumb. And the other thing is that, gameplay does get a little repetitive sometimes, especially if you want to grind. So, get ready for that. But you don't have to grind. I know I'm just a crazy patience. So. Now, number 7. Number 7 does have to go out to, believe it or not, Call of Duty. No, I'm playing. It's gonna go out to Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Now, Counter-Strike Source was the game that I played a little bit of in high school, but I never really got into it, only because I didn't have a powerful PC. This year I finally got one with my new iMac. And I had some money left over after I bought the computer, so I decided, forget it, I'll just get Counter-Strike on Steam. I can bring it's a decent game. So I got it, and I gotta tell you guys, I don't like multiplayer first-person shooters. Anybody can deduce that. I don't like Call of Duty. I kind of don't enjoy games of that type. Kind of honest. But I was honestly surprised by how much I enjoy this game. And the reason why I enjoy this game so much over Call of Duty is balance and fairness. Okay, what does that mean? In Call of Duty, you gain levels, and the more levels you gain as you play, the more guns you get. You get better guns, you get ridiculous sniper rifles that give one shot. And it's a lot of luck based and a lot of grinding, and when you hit prestige, you get all these weapons and no. Okay, it's not fair. What it means is that people who spend all their time playing Call of Duty are rewarded with more guns and make them more cheap against people who don't play Call of Duty all the time. And I think that's dumb. That being said, Counter-Strike Global Offensive starts out the same every single match for every single character. It doesn't matter if you've been playing for 3 years or 3 minutes. You all start out with a certain amount of money that you can spend on guns, and then how you fight in the coming battles within the match will determine how much money you get, and if you keep your guns or not, and you get to rebuy guns, so on and so forth. It's that balance, that little tweak that makes the game just really stand out for me. And if more FPSs can be like this, I think I would play more. So definitely, guys, check out Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's out for the PC and Mac on Steam. Check it out. I think it might be out on the 360 as well. Don't quote me on it. Okay. Now we're going to be going to number 6, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 6. Number 6 is going to have to go out to Pokemon Black and White. Trust me, it surprised me too. I didn't think for a game that was gonna. Just to backtrack a little bit, I don't like Black and White. Pokemon Black and White. I don't. I thought the games were just. It's something about the games. I have what I call the Pokemon cycle, which the Pokemon cycle is this thing where a Pokemon game usually comes out in March or April. So I'll get the game when it comes out in March or April. I'll play it for like a month and stop. And be like, why am I playing Pokemon again? This is stupid. I hate Pokemon. Right? Then like November or October will come around and I'll be like, okay, I might as well pick up Pokemon again. Just to finish it. So I'll pick up a game of Pokemon and I'll play through it and I'll be like, yes, Pokemon! And then January will come around, I'll beat the game, and yes, Pokemon! And then the new one will get announced, and I'll go out, pre-order it, hands down, no questions asked. This has been going on now since like Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Platinum. I have a track record with this. This didn't happen to me with Pokemon Black and White. I didn't like the mechanics. I didn't like I don't know what it was. Something was just bad juju. I didn't want any part of it. So when Black and White 2 was announced, I was staying straight away. I was like, nope, don't want anything to do with Pokemon again. I don't want to play another Pokemon game. Forget it. I got Black 2 on a limb. Just to see. Okay, fine. I got a little extra money. I'll get Black 2. Just to be fair. I love it. I do. I love it. It's so much better than Black 1, which I have Black 1. Black 1 or whatever. Not important. Yeah, I think I have Black 1. There's so many differences that just make it a good game. First off, Riolu. You can get a Riolu like within literally like the first patch of grass. The first and second patch of grass they can come across. Old Pokemon? What a surprise. Second reason, it's like just the variety, not the second reason, but the variety of Pokemon, it's a lot more varied. It's not just the new 200 and whatever that they came out with Black 2 or Black 1, should I say. I didn't like those. They were so... they added in more Pokemon of the old ones. It was excellent. It was really good. It was really nice. Alright? The only major gripe I have with it, and even though it's not really a gripe, it came out on the DS. Guys, Nintendo. The 3DS has been out now for about a good year and a half. 3DS. Let's do it. Let's make games for the 3DS. Wouldn't that be nice to see a company supporting the actual system that they made? I think that'll be nice. Don't you? I think that'll be excellent. Let's actually support the system that they made. Make games for it. What do you know? That's a thing. Come on, Nintendo. Get off your asses. Shit. Moving on. Number 5. That's gonna have to go out to, and I know this is gonna sound really weird and really crazy, guys, but follow me on this. Follow me. Rhythm Heaven Fever. All right, now this is for those of you who don't know, because I'm sure I'm sure this flew under a lot of people's radar. Rhythm Heaven Fever is a game that came out on the Wii. All right. Basically, it's a very simplistic rhythm game. There's no life bar. There's no really score meter. You can't really die. And the only buttons that you ever really use are on the Wiimote, and it's A, B, or both at the same time. That's about it. In that simplicity, though, there's so much heart, and so much atmosphere and passion in this game. It's surprising. Every song is memorable. Every single song in this game that you play is memorable, and even if you don't pass the song, the graphics, which are, even though they're simplistic, is just so excellent. The game is overall so well made. It's amazing. It's just a really good rhythm game, even though it's so simple and so blah and passé. You know, the game itself is just it's excellent. It's really good. It's just a really good game. Trust me. It's excellent. Get it. I'm sure it can't be too expensive nowadays. It's maybe $30. Not a lot of people bought it, I'm sure. But for an for a little rhythm game that I thought, you know, to get on a whim, or to play on a whim, it's definitely something that captured my attention and kept it for a good while. Now, number 4. This is where it's going to get controversial. Alright? My number 4 is going to be Super Robot Tyson Z. Second Super Robot Tyson Z. Sakayan. This is the real reason why my list is on number 11. This game, yes, it's a Japan exclusive game. Yes, it came out on the PSP. And yes, I'm sure almost all of you have never played it. So what is it? Well, if you remember from my last video, Super Robot Wars is a long-standing turn-based strategy game in Japan, based around different robot mega animes. Now, this one was a sequel to the Super Robot Tyson second chapter Hakaihen, which came out in 2011. So why is this game so high on my list? Why is it number 4? Why is it this game just blows my mind on almost every level and makes this game so great? Well, I'll tell you what it is, and that's friggin' personality. Alright, this game is the graphics, the mechanics, the videos, like the moves, the special moves, how they seem to be drawn out on the PSP as they fight, and it's these great, spectacular, over-the-top moves, guys. Like these are moves where like you go into Fire Emblem, okay, and for those of you who have played a Fire Emblem out there, you'll know that when you attack, it's an attack. It's either you do a sword slash, or you shoot with your bow and arrow, or you do a magic spell, or whatever, and then boom, done. What happens in Super Robot Tyson is you have a list of moves, and depending on what you want to do will depend on what the move is. And depending on the move, it's not just going to be the punch, even though some moves are. But when you really get more energy and you get more power, that's when it gets interesting. That's when you get, Gurren Lagann doing Giga Drill Break on enemies in the middle of the game, or combining with the Art Gurren and becoming super, Super Gurren, or I forgot what it's called. Art Gurren Lagann or something like that. It's just, it's so, the game itself is just so over the top, but it is a hard strategy game. This is not a game that a beginner can pick up and, you know, be instantly good at it. No, this game is really, it's pretty hard. You know, definitely one of the hardest of the Super Robot Tysons. And to get through it is, I'm not gonna say it's a slog, but it does take a little patience, especially if you want to have all your characters live until the end of the game. That's just kind of how it rolls. Alright. So, yeah. Yeah. Super Robot Tyson Z on the PSP. Now, if you guys don't like that, but Alex, it's an import game. Blah, blah, blah. I can't play it. Well, you know what? A, shut the fuck up. B, shut the fuck up. And C, go fuck yourself and then shut the fuck up. Sorry. Okay. Number 3. Alright, number 3. I'm sure if you guys have been keeping up with the site or with the podcast at all within the last year, you'll know, you won't be too surprised by number 3. And number 3 is going to be DJ Max Technica Tune. Now, DJ Max Technica Tune is a port, not a port, but it's basically a reworking of the Technica engine for the arcade games put onto the Vita. But if you think about it, in the arcade you have a 22-inch touchscreen, you know, and they have to condense it down to a 5-inch screen on the Vita. Does it work? Surprisingly, yes. Believe it or not, the way the game works is that, you know, you have basic notes that you do on the touchscreen, on the actual touchscreen itself, and for your hold notes and your repeat notes, you use the back touchscreen. So when you do that, it essentially allows you to use both your hands to play the game. It's great. It really is. It's surprising how much at first you'll be so confused by it, but within a matter of maybe 3, 4, 5 playthroughs, you know, not that many at all, you'll get it. And I'm not saying playthroughs in the sense like I have to beat the whole game. No, I mean like 3 or 4 rounds, which is pretty solid. You know, if that. It took me having 2. But the music selection is so great, and the visuals are just they're just stunning. Visually stunning. But yeah, it's just, the game itself is just a gem on the Vita. You know, it's something that shows the potential of what the Vita could do. Keep in mind, it uses no buttons. You can't use the buttons on this game. There's no point to them. Everything is done with the touchscreen. You know, it shows that the Vita can do more than just, you know, games on the buttons, and you can do things on the touchscreen. And even though touchscreen games aren't my thing most of the time, it works. It works. It's really good, really fun. The game's addicting as all hell. You know, there's online, it's just basically Facebook competitions against your friends. It's addicting. It's addicting, and it's amazing. The only sucky thing is that, even though it's not really a big deal, unless you want to fork out like $40 plus shipping to have the game sent to you, there's no real physical copies of it available. The only way to get it, and the way that I got it, is to get it through download. This game is 3.1 gigs. So unless you have like an 8GB memory card, it's not gonna fit. Yeah, that's the only sucky thing about it. But minus that, I mean, that's not even something that's dependent on the game itself. It's just something that happens. But the gameplay is excellent, it's solid, it works. Get it, guys. This is definitely one of those things where if you have a Vita, you have to get this game. It's excellent. To be honest. Now, number 2. And you'll notice that I don't really have a lot of mainstream games on my list here. You might say, well, you're being a hipster, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. I just, whatever. You know, mainstream games aren't my thing. I don't really get into it. But, one mainstream game I did really get into this year, Borderlands 2. Alright. Now, Borderlands has a very special place in my heart. I spent most of 2010 actually playing Borderlands, the first one. And I really got into it. I could not stop playing Borderlands 1. Like, I've poured over 100 hours into that game. Easily over 100 hours. Between making multiple characters, multiple playthroughs, all the DLC, everything. I've poured well over 100 hours into this. And Borderlands 2 takes everything that Borderlands 1 was, throws it out the window, makes it 20,000 times better, and puts it in front of you. Now, I've heard a lot of people tell me that Borderlands 2 feels more like Borderlands 1.5. And I don't necessarily I don't disagree with that, but, you know, it is a whole new game, whole new settings, whole new everything, whole new characters. The story is actually fleshed out. There was barely any story in the first one. The bit that was there, yeah, I mean, it was witty and it was funny and the characters were cool, you know. I mean, there was always the classics like Marcus and Scooter and Moxie, you know, and it was a fun little, you know, the story was whatever, but the game itself was just excellent. Borderlands 2, there's a story, and the story is really good, you know, and there's, again, a lot of new characters this time, like Hammerlock, Sir Hammerlock. He's literally one of my favorite characters to almost ever exist. He's a gentleman, a scholar, and a badass. He's awesome. He's so cool, you know, and just the range of guns, how many missions you have, the difficulty gets ramped up. Character creation is great. They add characters. DLC is still coming out for it. They just can't. They announced a new Hammerlock DLC I have to get eventually. Oh man, it's everything about Borderlands 2 took what Borderlands 1 laid down and just built it up. Built it with such great passion. Gearbox really took everything that fans outcried about in Borderlands 1 and just made it significantly better, guys. It's just, I don't know what else to tell you. If this is the kind of game where if you guys haven't played the game yet, I don't know what to tell you. What's wrong with you? Play the game. It's really good. All right, play the game. I'm right now, I'm playing, you know, I don't have multiple characters yet because I'm kind of focusing on Zero right now, but dudes, play the game. It's really good. I promise you will not be disappointed. Your $60 will not go, you know, will not go wasted. And just prepare for, you know, some of the funniest dialogue you'll ever hear in your life. Especially from Handsome Jack. That, oh man, he's a hell of a villain. You know, but it's just the lines and the humor and the action and the gameplay and everything out of that game. It's just, oh god, it's addicting. Addicting, guys. And now for my number one. And I'm gonna get a lot of what the fucks for this, but Persona 4 Arena. Sorry. Persona 4 Arena. Now, yes, it's a fighting game, and yes, it's not that long, and yes, the story mode is long, and there's not a lot of fighting, and yes, I know, guys, I know, the game is so good, it's so good, all the characters are so well balanced, everybody feels different, nobody feels the same, even when two characters are essentially the same person, they still feel different. The game, it's just so well polished. Oh man, Arc System Works. I can never love Arc System Works enough, especially after what they did with this. You know, it's just Persona 4 Arena is everything I've wanted in a fighting game. Everything I've ever wanted pretty much in a game, period. In references, there's characters not only from Persona 4 but from Persona 3, and they fit. They're so good. The game leaves me literally speechless. I have poured hours upon hours upon hours into this game. Ah, it's so good. For a fighting game, it took everything that I loved about BlazBlue, and it took everything I loved about Persona, and to put them together, and they work. How an RPG and a fighting game get put together is beyond me. I can't describe it. It's just so well done. It goes beyond the limit of what I thought a fighting game could even remotely be. You basically play as two characters at the same time, but it feels so like one, and it's so interconnected, and it's beautiful. Oh man, I've been surprised by how many people have just not talked about that game, about Persona 4 Arena this year. Guys, this game, go buy it, please. I went to the other side of the world. Okay, I went to the other side of the world, found an arcade, and played the game. You know, it's like I had to, because it's just the game is so good, and I missed playing it at home. There's only one thing I hate about the game. One thing. It has nothing to do with the game. And it's the fact that it's not on the Vita. That is the only reason. That is the only thing I have against the game. Why is it not on the Vita? I want to play it on the go. It's so good. Jesus. Oh, God. Persona 4 Arena. By the way, if anyone wants to play me in Persona 4 Arena, I'll put my PSN in the little box below. But seriously, guys, the game is just so good. There's so much variety. Oh, everything is so balanced. I haven't played a fighting game like this in ages. I never was so excited for a fighting game like this. So good. Good. Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's my my top 10 list for 2012. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, down in the comment box below and all that jazz. I will be putting this video up on my own personal channel, as well as I'll be putting it on the podcast's YouTube channel. But you know, yeah, it got dark. Ah, no, it's going to a garage. That's not fun. But yeah, guys, that's my list for 2012. I hope you guys liked it. I know I'm gonna probably stir up a lot of controversy with that, but you know, tell me, guys. I want to hear what's your top 10 or top 11 list of 2012. I want to hear it. I like hearing stuff from you guys. I like you a lot. Bye, guys.